So it's new week, Tuesday tonight. Done a few other odds and ends before I've started my own stuff. The big job for this week is just to get the S13 castor rods all prepped up and welded up so I can start collecting weight for plating. So I've got 8 pairs cut, but we'll need to deburr all the holes and linish them all up and then grind a prep in here for the weld. This is the jig. It's pretty simple, built off an original castor rod. So just got a 3/4 rod end, 2 nuts, tacked it all together so I can set it all up in the jig at the right length and then weld it in. So these 2 holes are for an R31, so I've actually got an R31 castor rod as well that sits in here. Still does both. It's pretty easy, you just bolt the end in here. See, it doesn't sit on there, it allows for the diameter. So these are 3/4 UNF bolts. I cut the head off them and then weld them into here. So generally I'll screw them in to a point and then line it all up. Usually try to line the end of the raised part of the shank with the end of the arm, and then tack it all together and then weld it out. Usually I weld them out in the jig and then pull them out after, so it's a bit of a time consuming job, but holds everything in nice and true. So one of the first jobs we've got to do is cut all the heads off the bolts, so we'll do that in the bandsaw, and then while that's happening we can linish all the arms up and deburr all the holes, so we can do 2 tasks at once. Probably a bit hard to see normally, but just have light down, got the stop on it. I'm going to cut it in probably 3mm above the head, and I've just got another stud in the end just to stop the vise from pulling, so I can keep it nice and square to cut it. Right, so we'll do one and then we'll let it run in the background. Sort of see where it's cutting, just inside the head there. There we go, cut the head off. It's a little bit time consuming. We'll grind a chamfer in the end, so it'll work as a prep and we'll take the black off it. But plenty to go. The key is to make it repetitive. And try and cut them squarish. About to start linishing the curved castor arm pieces. Mainly just the stop and start's the only real worry. They cut really nice laser. What I try to do the most is I try to put a radius on all the edges because it's in tension. Anywhere where there's a nick could potentially be a cracking point. So because it's a pretty critical piece in the front end, I like to put a fairly decent radius on them, and we're going to do that with the linisher. So fire up the old girl. there you go, you see it's got a nice radius, so should make less prone to breaking. You can see by the colour of the material too, it's darker grey than normal steel, so it's higher grade steel, grade 350. We'll just work on getting the rest of them done and then move on to deburring the holes. So I finished linishing now, so now we're up to burying the holes. Trusty drill press again, and just a large drill. Now that we've got all the edges linished and the holes deburred, the last step to do on these is to prep the ends to take the stud. As you can see, 3/4 inch stud. So in the 12mm plate, it doesn't leave much room for a prep, so we're going to give it a hit with the grinder prepping it, and then we'll prep the studs so we can weld them as well. Just going to do it with a 5-inch grinder. Just got to get in there and grind a bit out. Something like that. Put the stud in. Gives you lots of room for some penetration. Probably the bigger the better. So this is the 3/4 stud, so it used to be a bolt, cut the head off. Now I'm just going to prep it for welding. I'm going to try and linish a chamfer on the end and then take the chemically black off, just so it doesn't interfere with the welding. Right, so this is my jig. Originally built off a S13 castor rod, so it's at the right length. CNC spacers that I use for my castor rods also. Just got an old 3/4 rod end that had a little bit of rust on it that I pretty much permanently stuck it in here, tacked a couple of nuts on. The way it works is you bolt the body down like this. And then get the 3/4 stud, screw it into the end. Pretty much once they line up, that's where it'll be, right there like that. So, pretty easy. Once you've got all the parts prepped, you just pretty much throw it together. We'll just check that it's in the center. Visually looks like it's in the center. Pretty much weld it flat tack, so 200 amps. Let's see how she goes. let it cool down a bit, and then we'll weld across the front. Just not while it's hot. That's pretty much it. Sand it away, get it plated. Continue knocking them out. Gone through and welded all the studs in now, so all I've got to do is just do a sealing weld across the top here. Use of a vise makes it a bit easier. Turn it down to 120 amps now. So just got to put a small fillet through here. There you go. Now I can send them off to get plated.